Hey everybody, welcome back to the Molasses Report. It's that magical, chaotic time of year again. It's July 4th. Flags are everywhere, grills are getting fired up, and everyone suddenly has become a backyard pyrotechnics expert. Some people plan the perfect barbecue, some are going to plan the perfect outfit, the perfect Instagram shot of a sparkler. Some of us, some of us are just going to try to survive the heat, the crowds, and the inevitable family questions. I.e., so when you getting married? So what do you do again? Have you thought about buying a house? I mean, it's amazing how holidays can feel like both a celebration and an annual performance review. Today, we're talking about the fireworks, both literal and metaphorical, the family dynamics, the friends who somehow became your accidental lifeboat, the chaos, the food comas, and yeah, a little reflection on America hitting 250 years. So grab your lemonade, your sunscreen, and maybe a small fire extinguisher, depending on who in your family bought the fireworks this year. Let's start with the obvious, the barbecue. Every 4th of July, the grill becomes a battlefield. Every family has one person who's somehow appointed the grill master. Nobody necessarily voted for them, but one day they cooked 3 burgers without burning them, and suddenly they're wearing the apron that says "Kiss the Cook," like they've trained in Paris. Although my favorite part about this is everybody suddenly becomes a food critic as well, i.e., the burger's a little dry. It's like, well, Mike, you've been standing next to the grill for 45 minutes holding a beer. You could have helped. And why is every 4th of July menu exactly the same? It's burgers, hot dogs, potato salad, macaroni salad, some watermelon. Someone always brings baked beans. Someone always brings the exact same bag of chips as everyone else. And there's enough food to feed a small country. Then there's the grill itself. Every year, someone forgets to turn off the propane. 5 adults immediately surrounded like they're trying to defuse a bomb. Meanwhile, the kids couldn't care less. They're running through sprinklers, throwing water balloons covered in popsicle juice, living their absolute best lives. Adults, though, were sweating before noon. Like, when you're getting older, when the first thing you packed for those barbecues isn't beer, it's sunscreen, maybe some bug spray, definitely ibuprofen. And then you get humidity as well. It's incredibly rude. You shower, you walk outside, and immediately need another shower. It's like Mother Nature looked and said, you know what Independence Day needs? Soup. I didn't want to breathe soup, I just wanted a cheeseburger. But here's what I love, nobody remembers if the burgers were perfect. Nobody remembers who made the best potato salad. We remember laughing because someone dropped an entire tray of hot dogs. We remember the family dog stealing a hamburger. We remember your uncle insisting duct tape can fix literally anything. Those are memories. Perfection isn't memorable, but chaos is. Then comes the true family portion of the holiday, which can be cool, but it's also exhausting. Every family has that cousin or that aunt who's convinced she's helping. So, anyone special? No. You'll find them. Well, thank you. I was worried I'd accidentally miss the deadline. Then comes the career advice from a relative who still thinks every job involves walking into a building and asking for the manager. You know who you should call? No, no, I really don't. And somehow, someone always starts talking politics 5 minutes before you sit down to eat. It's like, can we not? I just want my hot dog. And then the fireworks. They're beautiful, but they're also terrifying because every family has that one cousin who treats fireworks like an extreme sport, i.e., it'll go higher if I hold it this way. No, no, please don't. Then the uncle who bought them suddenly becomes the certified explosives expert, saying, it'll be fine. I've been doing this for 20 years. Exactly. That's why we're a little nervous. Yet, somehow, through all the teasing, all the questions, all the annoyances, there's warmth. There's traditions. Stories you've heard 100 times but still smile at. Family isn't perfect, but holidays remind us how lucky we are to have people worth rolling our eyes at. And sometimes the people who make a holiday magical aren't related to you at all. They're your friends, the ones who show up with extra ice, who refill your drink without asking, who somehow know exactly when you're overwhelmed and say, "Hey, come help me grab something from the cooler," aka, "Let's escape your family for 5 minutes." Those are the elite friendships. Friends make fireworks better too. Standing shoulder to shoulder, pointing out your favorite ones, pretending that random firework heading sideways isn't about to become tonight's biggest news story. Then comes the food coma. 3 cheeseburgers, 2 hot dogs, some potato salad, some brownies. As kids, we'd immediately eat all of that and then go play tag. Now I need about 2 to 15 business days to recover. Somewhere, then around 7 o'clock, everyone collectively decides moving is optional. We're all sitting in lawn chairs, hoping digestion becomes somebody else's problem. But 4th of July, especially here in America, only here in America, it isn't just fireworks and food. It's reflection. It's celebrating little victories. A quiet moment on the porch while everyone argues over cornhole, catching that perfect firework exploding directly overhead. Laughing at that ridiculous Old Navy American flag t-shirt you swore you'd never wear. The holiday reminds us to appreciate little things. Freedom, friends, family, making it through another year. Maybe surviving the family barbecue without getting food poisoning. When you're 8 years old, the 4th feels magical. You wake up excited before your parents. You're wearing that red, white, and blue shirt your mom picked up from Old Navy. You're running through sprinklers with your cousins, eating 14 popsicles before lunch. And your biggest concern is whether you get the cool sparkler instead of the boring one. Fireworks are the greatest thing you've ever seen. Every boom makes you smile. Every spark makes you feel magic is real. Then adulthood sneaks in. Now it starts by checking the weather app. 97 degrees, feels like 104. Outstanding. And then instead of grabbing a water gun, you're grabbing sunscreen. But here's what's funny. Despite the responsibilities, despite the sunscreen, the magic never leaves. We will stop talking when the fireworks begin. We all still look up, and we all still smile at those first cracks. This year, though, the 4th does feel slightly different, and I think we have to acknowledge it. America turns 250 years old. Think about that for a second. 250 years. For a country, that is still incredibly young. There are buildings here that are older than our Constitution, trees older than the United States, entire civilizations whose history stretches back thousands of years. And yet, here we are, still celebrating, still growing, still trying. I've always loved the phrase, the American experiment, because that's exactly what this country is. It's an experiment. It's not a finished project. It's not even a final draft. Experiments require participation, and they require people willing to learn, to adjust, to improve, to keep showing up when things aren't perfect. In fact, the American experiment has never been about perfection. It's about believing tomorrow can be a little better than today. Every generation inherits that responsibility. Freedom isn't something previous generations won once and wrapped in a bow for the rest of us. It's something every generation has to prove, to protect, to strengthen, and pass on. The experiment does not fail when people disagree. Disagreement has existed since the very beginning of time. The people who signed the Declaration of Independence didn't agree on everything. Debate has always been a part of American history. The experiment only fails if we stop believing it's worth participating in. If we stop caring about our communities. If we stop helping our neighbors. If we stop believing that our actions, no matter how small, matter. And maybe, just maybe, that's why I love the 4th. Because for one evening, thousands of people who have never met each other spread blankets across the same parks. They watch the same fireworks. Kids laugh, parents smile, neighbors share bug spray, someone always has a few extra hot dogs. For a few moments, we all look towards the same sky, and that's worth celebrating. Not because America has always been perfect. I mean, no country has. But because for 250 years, generation after generation, we have believed this experiment was worth continuing. That's our challenge. Not to make America perfect, but to leave it stronger than when we found it, kinder than when we found it, more united than when we found it. If each of us did that, the next 250 years would have a pretty incredible foundation to build on. America is 250 years old. It's still an experiment worth participating in, worth improving, worth passing on to the next generation just a little bit better than where we found it. And maybe that's the most patriotic thing any of us can do. So here's to the 4th of July, to the heat, to the chaos, to the fireworks, to the people who make it all worth it. Whether you're spending today at a crowded park, a quiet porch, or in a backyard arguing over who gets the last hamburger, I hope you find a little magic. Maybe a little laughter, a little gratitude, maybe a little sunburn too, because what's the 4th of July without proof you actually survived it? Happy birthday, America. Cheers to another 250 years. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Molasses Report. I'll see y'all next week.